Glad we have Tom Curran here who covers the Patriots. First of all, Tommy, thanks for joining us. And how big a role will the politics play with the Patriots tonight on Media Night?
I think it's going to be really big, and thank you for having me. I think when you look at the landscape right now this past weekend, all that's happened, and the fact that Brady hasn't had the opportunity to be laid bare in front of the national media on this, I think the recipe is there for him to be in the crosshairs of the national media tonight. Now, he's done a very good job of slow playing it and keeping it all at arm's distance, but I don't think it's inevitable that it's going to come up.
But and I'm sure the Patriots have a strategy, right?
Yeah.
Would they get together as a team to have a strategy for tonight?
They wouldn't necessarily do that. It would more be a blanket. Just don't do something that we're going to have to talk about for the next 4 days because you uttered X, Y, or Z. With Brady, I think it's a personal strategy, and I think the captains will pass it on too. I don't think that they muzzle them to the point where if you have a view on something that you want to express, go ahead and do that, but don't make it over the top so that we're talking about this incessantly and other people are being asked about it.
Most likely to break ranks on the Patriots would be who?
I would say Martellus Bennett.
Yeah.
I would say in a walk.
Yeah.
In a walk, Martellus Bennett.
But if I look at Brady and Belichick, both have said that they supported Donald Trump, and both are going to be there for the media to at least ask. Robert Kraft has already said how he feels about Donald Trump. Is it a fair question to ask of these men in this setting?
It is.
About immigration with Donald Trump, with what happened yesterday.
To go to policy, I think that's a jump. I mean, to ask a guy who's preparing for the Super Bowl and ask him, can you weigh in on this decision handed down and all the things that are going on? I think that's unfair. And I wouldn't want to go to a quarterback to get some kind of political analysis. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what it means myself, what's real, what's imagined, where the reality of things lie. Why would I go to the quarterback? It is fair game to ask him how uncomfortable it is, different aspects of his relationship that have come to the fore over the course of time. But here's the interesting thing. I wrote about this. Remember when Obama was running in 2008, and the Reverend Jeremiah Wright had some comments. And this was in March of 2008. And they were very incendiary comments, anti-American comments. And just a few days later, Obama gave a speech. It was called A More Perfect Union speech. And in it, he basically said exactly what Brady has been saying. There are people who we have relationships with or friendships with that say things that we don't necessarily agree with or do things that we don't agree with. But that doesn't mean we disavow them as friends or people. Now, it's the same thing boiled down to Brady just saying, why do I have to talk about this? I don't want to talk about this.
But do you believe him when he said, why is this a big deal? He said that on WEEI.
Yeah.
Like, why is this a big deal about, who I'm friends with?
I think it's a little naive.
But do you think that was on purpose that he's saying this? Because he's an aware guy. He knows that this would be a big deal.
No, I think he understands why it's a big deal. I think that his stance is, why do I keep being asked about this? I've tried to make it clear. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's politics, and I have no voice in it. What's interesting to me is Trump, his way of doing things, he tends to glom onto people. And I think that over the course of time, whether it's Bon Jovi or Donald Trump, the Patriots have a habit of attracting people to the team. The Krafts don't chase them away. Brady doesn't mind celebrities around. Belichick doesn't either. So over the course of time, Trump has become a mascot. And he's up there and he's hanging around. And I could see him say, it'd be a tremendous, tremendous favor for me, Tom, if you would put a hat in your locker. I think it would be tremendous for all of us. And yeah, sure, Don. I don't mind. We're still going to play golf wherever I want to, whenever I want to. Right?
Do the Patriots go right to the White House on Monday morning if they win the Super Bowl?
They bring the White House to them.
Oh, they do? Yeah. The way it feels like Trump would say, let's skip, policy. Just come on.
Straight. Yeah, he'll imagine if he popped up on stage. We've spent so much time trying to focus on Goodell and Brady if they were in to have any interactions after the game.
But I've said that, having been up there, you hand out the Super Bowl trophy.
Oh, you have been up there, haven't
Yeah,
you?
I've done it. I think, how many times have I done it? 3 times I've handed out the Super Bowl trophy.
You lose track.
Yeah, I lost track there. In fact, I was up there with Tommy.
I was up there.
Time.
I haven't been.
It is a lofty perch to be up there handing out that Super Bowl trophy. But as I've told people, the commissioner's he doesn't have interaction. He'll see everybody as they come up, say hello,
Right.
and then he's not interviewing Brady or handing him a Super Bowl trophy or the MVP. He's not involved in any of that stuff. So I don't know how awkward it's going to be awkward with
The next day.
Kraft and Goodell. That's where it's awkward. Because he's saying, here is your Super Bowl trophy, Robert Kraft.
And Kraft won't be able to help himself because the landscape in New England right now is people are still pissed off that they feel as if he sold Brady down the river, and everything he's done since has been to try and recoup the goodwill lost. And if you look at this, I could absolutely see Kraft standing there and saying, this is retribution, and we finally got our revenge. And then that's just going to feed the thing for however many more months. But it's never going to satiate people, I think.
He's Tom Curran, Comcast Sportsnet New England, covering the Patriots. What will the storyline be, though, if the Patriots lose that Monday morning?
You spent all that time worrying about the trophy, and look what happened. I don't know if it changes the legacy conversation at all. I think that they're so far ahead now, and I know that they're not ahead of the Steelers in terms of overall.
Is 4-3 that much different than 5-2 for Brady?
It's significantly different, but how does he play in the game will visit upon it as well. I mean, people will continually point out that Joe Montana was 4-0 in Super Bowls. He also played like ass in the divisional playoff 3 different times and was 1 and done.
Is that the official designation description?
That's how we refer to it up in New England.
Okay.
Yeah, Montana played like ass. 89, 90, 91.
This is going to be, the storylines will be Brady's lost it. Garoppolo is the future.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
And Jimmy will just be sitting there. A handsome kid, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he is. But that's part of, is he better looking than Brady?
In a swashbuckling way, yeah. In a swashbuckling.
Wow.
Doesn't have the divot, though. Doesn't have the chin divot. And I think that's a separator. All the great ones have chin divots, Dan.
Do you think there are kids out there trying to give themselves a chin divot?
Yes, the ass chin.
Did Montana have a chin divot, Paulie?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, all the great ones have it. Yeah.
Not a lot of chin divots up here, I'm noticing.
Yeah,
actually.
not a lot of great ones up here. No, not at all. But I'm also, I think the Garoppolo situation's interesting. Is I don't see him leaving, traded next year. It feels like it'd be the year after that, wouldn't it?
Well, he's up after the 2017 season. So he's under the Patriots' control until March of 2018.
Okay.
So what will happen this year is the Patriots will not put a for sale sign on him, but it will be a situation where teams will be able to call and say, we'll offer you X, Y, and Z. The anticipation from the Garoppolo camp is that it will be very aggressive. People will be very interested in trying to find out how they can extract him. When you look at the landscape, it's Tony Romo. It's a very thin, shallow draft for quarterbacks. So why not go and get this guy who's still under contract for another year?
You think he'll be traded?
No. Not until maybe August or September when somebody finds out, they go, we can't go into the season like this. And then the Patriots will have the urgency to use against teams who are like, look, we can't enter the season. We had what we thought was a good team. Look at the Teddy Bridgewater situation this year, something similar.
But also Kirk Cousins with that situation, what's going to happen if he's going to stay, with the Redskins or, could San Francisco be involved in this as well?
Yeah, any number of teams could be.
It's great to see you as always.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you for stopping by.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.